Before the harvest comes the seed, and before the fortune comes the thought. A millionaire's life is not built in the bank. It is built in the mind, spoken through the lips, and walked out in faith. If you wish to live as the wealthy do, you must first think as they think, speak as they speak, and move as they move. The world is a great mirror, reflecting what we hold within. If you carry the attitude of wealth, the posture of confidence, and the generosity of abundance, life will answer you in kind. The one who says, "I will act rich when I become rich," will forever wait at the gate of opportunity. The one who says, "I am rich now in thought, in word, in bearing," opens the gate and steps through. Do not confuse acting like a millionaire with waste or vanity. The wealthy mind is not reckless. It is expansive. It is free from fear of lack, for it knows that supply is limitless and ever flowing. This freedom changes how you dress, how you speak, how you hold yourself, how you treat others, and most importantly, how you treat yourself. If you walk in rags in your spirit, the world will hand you more rags. If you walk in dignity in your spirit, the world will place treasures in your path. Begin today, lift your head, speak words of increase, carry yourself as one who has already received the invitation to life's banquet. And when you do, you will find that the money, the opportunities, and the open doors are simply catching up to the truth you've already been living. Wealth begins in the mind, not in the bank account. The balance of your finances may be the evidence the world sees, but the balance of your thoughts is the true measure of your fortune. Every empire was first a vision, every enterprise first an idea, every fortune first a belief. The seed of wealth is not gold or silver. It is a mental image held firmly and acted upon with faith. A man or woman may inherit millions and lose it all because their inner picture is one of lack, fear, and limitation. Another may begin with nothing, but through the cultivation of a prosperous state of mind, they attract opportunities, resources, and allies until the outer matches the inner. The mind is a mighty magnet, drawing to itself the conditions that match its dominant thought. If the thought is one of poverty, lack, and hopelessness, circumstances will rise to confirm it. If the thought is one of abundance, creativity, and expansion, circumstances will just as surely align with that vision. This is why the starting point of wealth must be a mental shift. You must first claim riches in your thinking, see yourself as worthy of plenty, and live in the confidence that you are supplied, guided, and favored. When your inner conversation is filled with phrases like "I can't afford it" or "there's never enough," you are instructing life to withhold. These words are orders to the unseen forces that respond to your belief. But when your words carry the tone of "I always have what I need, and there's more where that came from," you are issuing a different command. You are telling life to pour out opportunities, to guide you toward ideas, and to open doors you could not have forced open on your own. Wealth in the mind is not just about imagining riches, it is about dissolving fear and distrust. Many people, even when given more money, will still live in a spirit of scarcity, hoarding, and worrying over loss. Their inner climate is one of drought, and no matter how much rain falls, it cannot stay. The millionaire in mind, however, lives as if the supply is infinite, because in truth it is. They may budget wisely, but they do not shrink from generosity. They make decisions from a place of expansion rather than contraction. Every action you take is a vote for the reality you believe in. If you hold your head high, dress with care, and carry yourself with quiet confidence, you are affirming to yourself and to the world that you belong among the prosperous. This is not vanity, it is alignment. The outer actions reinforce the inner conviction, and the inner conviction eventually shapes the outer facts. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to begin seeing money as a servant rather than a master. The mind steeped in lack sees money as scarce, always slipping away. The wealthy mind sees money as obedient, flowing toward the person who knows how to use it with purpose and joy. If you begin to think of yourself as already entrusted with abundance, you will naturally make choices that expand your resources. Opportunities that others miss will become visible to you. Conversations will yield connections. Ideas will come at the right time, and you will be in the right place to act on them. None of this happens by accident. It is drawn by the vibration of your thinking. The truth is, your mental wealth account is always open, always active, and it pays out in proportion to the deposits of faith, vision, and gratitude you make daily. The zeros in your bank account are only a shadow of the zeros in your belief. Wealth begins in the mind, and once you are rich there, the outer riches cannot help but follow. Act as if, now. Do not wait for the money, the opportunity, or the recognition before you begin living in the energy of your desired life. To act as if is to declare by your behavior that you have already received what you seek. It is the language of faith spoken through action. When you carry yourself as one who is already successful, abundant, and worthy, you invite life to confirm your stance. The one who delays their confidence until the outer proof arrives will wait endlessly, for the proof comes only after the seed of belief has been planted and nurtured. Acting as if is not about false boasting or pretending in a shallow sense. It is about embodying the qualities, habits, and mindset of the person you are becoming. If you desire to be financially free, act as though you are already the wise steward of a great fortune. This means making thoughtful choices with what you have now, speaking confidently about your future, and removing fear from your financial decisions. The person who believes deeply in their future wealth does not treat themselves as poor in the present. They do not shrink from opportunities out of fear, nor do they clutch every penny in desperation. They act with calm assurance, knowing that their needs are met and more is on the way. Your posture, your tone of voice, your daily habits, all of these are silent affirmations of who you believe yourself to be. If you wish to be seen as a leader, stand and speak like one before you hold the title. If you wish to be respected, carry yourself in a way that commands respect before anyone knows your name. By doing so, you train not only the world to see you differently, but you train your own mind to expect a higher standard. You begin to feel at home in the environment you wish to inhabit. Acting as if also breaks the habit of waiting for permission. Many people pause their dreams because they believe some outer event must first occur. A raise, an investor, an invitation. But life responds more readily to those who begin moving now, shaping their lives to match their vision. If you act like the opportunity is already yours, you prepare yourself for it so fully that when it arrives, you step into it without hesitation or self-doubt. This way of living changes the decisions you make. If you already believed you were abundant, you might invest in learning, dress with intention, or treat people with the generosity of someone who has nothing to prove. If you already believed your business was thriving, you would structure your days around growth and service, not around chasing scraps of validation. You would speak about your work with conviction, and others would feel that confidence and respond to it. There is a quiet power in behaving as though your vision is inevitable. It removes desperation from your energy and replaces it with magnetism. People are drawn to those who seem secure in their path, who are not grasping for approval but moving with a sense of purpose. This is the energy of someone who is already living their dream, even if the outer circumstances are still catching up. Act as if now. because the mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically present. When you live in your desired state internally, your actions, choices, and surroundings begin to reshape themselves to match it. The outer world eventually mirrors the inner performance. The stage is set by your behavior before the audience ever arrives, and when they do, they will believe the role you have already mastered. Abundance is expansive, not wasteful. True prosperity is not a reckless pouring out, but a wise and joyful circulation of what you have. Waste comes from fear just as much as hoarding does fear that there will never be enough, fear that you must grab all you can while you can, or fear that what you spend can never return. Abundance, on the other hand, flows from the deep knowing that supply is unlimited, that giving and receiving are part of the same current, and that there is always more on the way. When you live from a spirit of abundance, your choices are guided by confidence rather than panic. You give with ease because you understand that your gift will find its way back to you, multiplied. You invest in yourself because you know that the seeds you plant will bear fruit in their season. You enjoy what you have without guilt, but you also treat it with care because you recognize it as part of a larger stream of blessings. This is the opposite of waste, which comes from a shallow thrill of spending without thought or a careless dismissal of the value in your possession. An abundant mindset looks beyond the moment and sees the continuous flow of resources. You may share a portion now and receive another portion later. You may invest time, energy, or money today and watch it return in forms you could not have predicted. Waste, however, is blind to this flow. It sees only what is in the hand and seeks to burn through it without regard for the future or respect for the gift itself. Waste may mimic abundance for a moment. It may appear generous or extravagant, but its roots are in insecurity. It is an attempt to prove wealth rather than an expression of it. Living expansively means you allow your blessings to touch others. You open the door for opportunities, connections, and shared joy. You are not afraid to give someone a chance, to help a cause, to take a trip that expands your perspective, or to invest in tools that help you grow. Expansion increases your reach and your influence, creating more value for yourself and those around you. Waste, by contrast, shrinks you over time. It drains your resources without replenishment, leaving less energy, less joy, and less trust in the process of life. Abundance also includes gratitude as its constant companion. When you truly appreciate what you have, you naturally care for it, use it wisely, and share it generously. Gratitude makes you a good steward, ensuring that your expansion benefits not only you but others. Waste is careless because it is thankless. It does not recognize the worth of what is in hand, so it squanders it. This difference is why two people with the same amount of money can live entirely different lives. One will see their resources multiply through thoughtful, generous use, while the other will watch theirs vanish through careless depletion. To live abundantly is to operate in a larger vision. It is to make choices that stretch the borders of your life without tearing the fabric of your resources. You look at the world not as a pie with limited slices, but as a bakery where more pies are always in the oven. You trust the source of your supply and therefore have no need to cling or to throw away. This creates a life that grows steadily. Your influence, your opportunities, and your material blessings all expand in harmony. Waste may bring fleeting excitement, but abundance brings lasting increase. One empties the hand, the other opens it wide so more can flow through. The world mirrors your inner state. Life does not happen to you as much as it happens through you, reflecting back the tone and texture of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Every interaction, every opportunity, and every challenge carries the fingerprint of your inner world. If your mind is filled with confidence, gratitude, and expectancy, You will notice doors opening where before there were only walls. If your mind is clouded with fear, resentment, and doubt, those same doors will appear shut, even if they are standing wide open. The outer world adjusts itself to match the picture you hold within. Your inner state is a broadcast signal, and the world is tuned to respond to it. When you radiate calm assurance, people treat you with respect and trust. When you carry yourself with self-worth, you attract situations that honor that worth. But when you move through life expecting rejection or loss, you subtly shape your actions, words, and even body language in ways that make those expectations come true. The reflection is not always instant, but it is faithful. Like a seed planted in the soil, your inner state will grow into visible results in due time. If you walk through your day feeling prosperous, the world will offer you evidence to confirm it. An unexpected opportunity, a generous gesture, a solution to a problem. This is not mere coincidence, it is the law of correspondence at work. The inner and outer must align, and the stronger your inner conviction, the more powerfully the outer will match it. On the other hand, if you carry an inner climate of scarcity, you will pass by opportunities without recognizing them. Even blessings that arrive may slip through your fingers because you are not prepared to receive them. Your relationships also mirror your inner state. If you believe you are worthy of kindness and respect, you will naturally set boundaries, speak with confidence, and attract people who value you. If you secretly doubt your value, you may tolerate treatment that matches your low opinion of yourself. In this way, the people around you act like mirrors, showing you what you believe about your own worth. Changing these patterns requires first changing your inner image. The world is not judging you. It is simply reflecting you. This means that when you desire a different experience, you do not need to force the outer world to change. You must instead tend to the garden within, planting new thoughts and nurturing new attitudes until they blossom into different results. When you carry peace inside, conflict outside loses its grip on you. When you cultivate joy, you begin to notice reasons to smile appearing all around. It is important to remember that the mirror can only show what you are presenting. If you wake each day expecting good, you will move through the world with an openness that invites it in. Your posture, your tone, your energy, all of these communicate silently to the people and situations you encounter. And because like attracts like, the conditions that match your inner state will find their way to you. This truth is both a responsibility and a freedom. Responsibility because you cannot hide from the reflection, you must take ownership of the state you carry. Freedom because you have the power to change that state at any moment. No matter where you stand now, you can begin to project a new signal, one of abundance instead of lack, hope instead of despair, confidence instead of insecurity. The mirror will follow. What you consistently hold within will, sooner or later, become the life you see before you. Speak words of prosperity, for the tongue shapes the landscape of your life. Every word you utter plants a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, and those seeds grow into the experiences you meet. Words are not idle, they carry the energy of belief and intention. When you speak of abundance, of increase, of success, you are giving instructions to the unseen forces that govern opportunity and flow. When you speak of lack, of limitation, of failure, you are commanding the same forces to bring you proof of those ideas. The world listens to your language and arranges itself to agree with you. To speak words of prosperity is not to deny reality, but to choose which reality you will reinforce. You may have bills in hand, yet still speak of your ability to meet them with ease. You may be starting small, yet speak of growth and expansion as if they are certain. This is not fantasy, it is alignment. Your words declare your faith in the unseen supply, and that faith becomes a magnet for what you desire. Speaking in defeat strengthens defeat, but speaking in victory strengthens the path toward it. Your voice carries more power than you may realize, for it not only influences the world around you, but also programs your own mind. When you hear yourself say, "I can't afford that," or "nothing ever works out for me," you are training your thoughts to expect disappointment. The mind takes these statements as commands and begins to look for ways to fulfill them. But when you consistently say, "Money comes to me easily," or "I am surrounded by opportunities," your mind begins searching for evidence to make those words true. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, with your speech as the starting point. Speaking prosperity also affects how others see you. A person who talks with optimism and assurance is more likely to inspire trust, attract help, and be offered opportunities. People are drawn to those who believe in their own success. When you speak words of abundance, you signal that you are aligned with growth, and others respond in kind. On the other hand, constant talk of hardship and struggle can push away those very connections that could help you rise, because the energy of lack is heavy and repelling. The discipline to speak prosperity must be practiced daily. It means guarding your tongue from casual complaints, small-minded remarks, and careless jokes that undermine your own progress. Even in light conversation, your words matter. When you speak of others' success with admiration rather than envy, you align yourself with that same success. When you bless your own circumstances instead of cursing them, you make room for improvement. Speaking prosperity is not merely about money. It is about health, relationships, creativity, and every form of increase. When you say, "My life is full of love," you make space for deeper connections. When you say, "Ideas come to me easily," you prepare your mind for inspiration. Each spoken word is a declaration of what you are willing to receive. There will be moments when it feels unnatural to speak prosperity, especially if current appearances contradict it. But this is precisely when it is most powerful. Anyone can speak abundance when it is visible. It is the deliberate, unwavering choice to speak it before it appears that shapes destiny. The more consistently you do this, the more your environment will shift to match your language. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds, and prosperity grows best when you plant it daily with your own tongue. Confidence invites opportunities because it signals to the world that you are ready to receive them. When you carry yourself with assurance, you send out a silent message that you are capable, reliable, and worthy of trust. This energy draws people, resources, and possibilities toward you in ways that hesitation and self-doubt never can. Opportunities rarely knock on the door of someone who appears unsure. They seek out those who stand ready to answer without delay. Confidence is not arrogance. Arrogance pushes away, but true confidence attracts. It is a quiet certainty, a way of moving through life that says, "I belong here," without needing to shout it. This inner steadiness puts others at ease. People want to work with, invest in, and promote those who make them feel secure in the outcome. Even if your skills are still growing, your belief in your own ability to learn and adapt makes you a more appealing choice than someone with greater ability but less self-assurance. Opportunities often come disguised as challenges, and without confidence, they can be overlooked or refused. A person lacking belief in themselves may turn away from a promotion, a business idea, or a new partnership simply because they fear they are not ready. Confidence changes the equation. It allows you to step forward before you have every answer, trusting that you can figure it out along the way. Many doors are opened not by perfect preparation, but by the willingness to walk through them when they appear. Confidence also changes the way you are perceived in everyday interactions. It shapes your posture, your tone of voice, and your choice of words. A confident handshake, a steady gaze, and a clear manner of speaking can make a stronger impression than a long list of credentials. People may not remember every detail of what you say, but they will remember how you made them feel, and confidence makes them feel secure. This impression lingers, and when an opportunity arises, your name comes to mind. Internally, confidence reshapes your decision making. When you believe in your own capacity, you stop waiting for perfect conditions and start taking steps with what you have now. This forward motion often places you in the path of chance meetings, fresh ideas, and unexpected openings. A single conversation can lead to an introduction, which leads to a collaboration, which leads to an opportunity that might never have existed had you stayed still. The presence of confidence in your life is also a magnet for encouragement and support. People are more willing to help someone who appears committed and self-assured because they trust that their help will be put to good use. Your certainty gives them confidence in you, and they are more inclined to share information, resources, and networks that can propel you forward. Opportunities are not always rare, they are often abundant, but they pass unnoticed by those who doubt their own worthiness. Confidence sharpens your awareness and opens your eyes to possibilities you might otherwise dismiss. It prompts you to raise your hand in the meeting, send the message, or walk into the room where the conversation is happening. The more you practice stepping into these moments, the more they multiply. Confidence is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. It is built through small acts of courage, each one reinforcing the belief that you can meet what comes. As that belief deepens, opportunities begin to find you more often because you have made yourself visible to them. The world responds to readiness, and readiness is the natural companion of confidence. So walk today as the millionaire you are becoming. Think richly, speak richly, and move richly, for life cannot resist a soul that has already claimed its place at the table of abundance. You are not waiting for wealth, you are living it now, in thought, in word, in action. And when the outer riches arrive, they will feel like old friends, for you have been keeping company with them all along.